All right, so are you ready to get into some Serie A
I
action?
am definitely ready.
Matchday 25, it was a wild one.
It really was.
If you have your welcome to today.pdf, you can follow along with us as we go through this crazy match day.
Yeah, this match day had a bit of
It
everything.
really did.
Upsets and some teams really solidified themselves.
Yeah, and we'll get into all of that, but first, let's kind of give a broad overview.
Yeah, 10
A
matches
lot of drama.
really should up the table.
Yeah, and it kind of shifted the whole narrative of the season.
Absolutely. Some teams are feeling a lot better about themselves. Some teams maybe not so much.
Let's just jump right into it.
Okay, sounds good.
One that really surprised me right out the gate, Atalanta and Cagliari,
Oh, yeah.
a goalless draw.
A goalless draw.
These are two teams that are known for scoring goals.
High-flying attacks.
Exactly what happened.
Well, it seemed like both sides really prioritized defense over attack.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were kind of saving their energy for later in the season.
Yeah, almost like they were looking ahead.
Yeah, so Atalanta really relies on, a high press and quick transitions, and it seemed like Cagliari had a plan for that.
They did. They stifled them.
It was a really interesting tactical kind of chess match.
It was a really interesting match to watch.
It makes me wonder if other teams will kind of try to copy that blueprint that Cagliari put forward.
I mean, you have to think that other teams are going to be looking at that.
Yeah, because Atalanta is such a potent attacking force.
Yeah, they're going to have to find ways to stop them.
Now, speaking of unpredictable, let's talk about Fiorentina losing at home.
Against Como.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Fiorentina's a strong team.
Yeah, they are.
Como is fighting to avoid relegation.
Yep.
What happened there?
I think Como just wanted it more.
Yeah, they played with grit and determination.
They played with a ton of heart.
And Fiorentina just couldn't break down their defense.
No, they couldn't find a way through.
And I think for Fiorentina, it's got to be a wake-up call.
Yeah, a little bit of a reality check.
Especially for a team with top four ambitions.
You can't afford to drop points like that.
No, they can't. And it just goes to show that in Serie A, anyone can beat anyone on any given day.
Absolutely. Parity in this link is really something.
And you can't take any opponent lightly.
Nope.
Okay, so while we're on the subject of upsets, let's talk about Bologna.
Oh, yeah.
3-2 against Torino.
That was a fun one.
So Torino fought back.
They almost pulled it off.
But that last-minute own goal by Biraghi was just heartbreaking.
It was so close.
It really was a back-and-forth match, though.
Yeah, momentum was swinging back and forth.
Bologna's Ndoye, he was the hero with 2 goals.
Including that crucial penalty.
Yeah, but Torino's Vlasic and Elmas, they really kept them in the game.
And played their hearts out.
It was a match that really could have gone either way.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes football so exciting.
It is. You never know what's going to happen.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some matches that had some major implications for that top 4 race.
Okay, yeah?
Starting with AC Milan,
Oh, yeah?
1-0 victory over Verona.
It wasn't pretty.
Not pretty at all.
They got the 3 points.
Yeah, and Giménez, that late goal, that was the decider.
It's all about those moments of brilliance.
Absolutely. And I mean, it feels like AC Milan lately has just been living on the edge.
They have, but they find ways to win.
Yeah, and every point counts when you're fighting for a spot in the Champions League.
Every point is precious.
Now, Roma had their own nail-biter against Parma.
Oh, yeah, that was a close one.
1-0 win thanks to Soa's goal.
Just enough.
Yeah. And again, every point matters for Roma. They're chasing that Champions League spot as well.
They need every point they can get.
And it wasn't a dominant performance by any means.
No, but they showed a lot of resilience.
Yeah.
To grind out that result.
Absolutely. They got the job done, and that's what matters sometimes.
You can't always play beautiful football.
Exactly. Speaking of high-stakes matches, though, the clash of the Titans, Juventus and Inter Milan.
Oh, the Derby d'Italia.
Yes,
There.
this is the match that everyone circles on their calendar.
It's always a classic.
As soon as the fixtures are announced, you're like, okay, when is that Juventus-Inter match?
You can feel the tension.
Yeah, and it did not disappoint.
Not at all.
The tension was palpable from the first whistle.
It was electric in the stadium.
But Juventus emerged victorious, with Canseco's goal being the difference maker.
Yeah, he was the hero on the day.
But Inter had their chances.
They did.
Hitting the woodwork twice.
Unlucky.
I mean, that's got to be frustrating for any attacker.
Especially in a match of that magnitude.
It really highlights those fine margins that decide these big matches.
1 inch either way.
Yeah, and the result could have been completely different.
Football could be a cruel game sometimes. It really was a game of inches.
Absolutely, but Juventus, their defense was stellar.
Oh, yeah.
Di Gregorio, the goalkeeper, he was immense.
He was fantastic.
I mean, really stood on his head.
Yeah, he made some huge saves.
And that's what you need in these big matches. You need your goalkeeper to come up big.
Absolutely. And for Juventus, too, I think that win is a huge psychological boost.
Yeah, I mean, beating your biggest rival like that.
Especially after the start to the season they've had.
Yeah, it's got to do wonders for their confidence.
Yeah, I think they're going to be feeling really good about themselves.
Could this be the start of like a Juventus resurgence?
I mean, it's certainly possible.
We'll have to wait and see, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure.
Okay, but speaking of impressive performances, let's not overlook Udinese.
Oh, yeah.
They demolished Empoli 3-0.
That was a statement win.
It really was. I mean, they dominated from start to finish.
Yeah, they were all over them.
Ekkelenkamp, he was pulling the strings in midfield.
He was everywhere.
2 goals, and he created so many chances for his teammates.
He was the man of the match, for sure.
It seemed like Empoli just couldn't handle his movement and his vision.
No, they just couldn't cope with him.
And it wasn't just Ekkelenkamp.
No.
Thauvin came off the bench and scored a 3rd goal late in the match.
Yeah, just to put the icing on the shake.
Really a commanding performance.
Really impressive.
So was this Udinese just firing on all cylinders, or was Empoli just having an off day?
I mean, probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Udinese definitely played well.
Yeah, but you got to think that Empoli could have played better.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Regardless, this win gives Udinese a huge boost, as they're trying to solidify their position in the table.
Yeah, they're moving in the right direction.
Monza and Lecce, a goalless draw.
Not the most exciting match.
It wasn't a thriller.
It was a bit of a snooze fest.
But sometimes those draws are valuable.
Yeah, point to point.
Especially if it helps you, inch closer to your objectives.
Absolutely, every point matters.
Okay, last match of Matchday 25, Genoa 2-0 victory over Venezia.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of every fun in this one.
Some late drama.
Yeah.
And a controversy.
A deserved win for Genoa, though.
Yeah, they were the better team.
They controlled the match for the most part, created a lot of scoring opportunities.
Yeah, they were knocking on the door.
And finally, those 2 late goals from Pinamonti and Cornet.
They finally broke through.
Pinamonti's goal, it was a beauty.
Oh, it was a fantastic goal.
Curling effort left the Venezia goalkeeper with no chance.
Just a perfect strike.
Really showcased his composure and technique in front of goal.
Yeah, he's a natural finisher.
Looking back at this match day, one thing that stands out to me, all those close finishes.
Yeah, there were a lot of nail biters.
Why do you think we saw so many?
I think it's the competitive balance in the league right now.
Yeah, the gap between the top teams and the rest of the league is shrinking.
It's making for some really unpredictable matches.
Yeah, you really don't know who's going to win on any given day.
Which is great for the fans.
It is. It makes it very exciting.
Every match matters.
All right, so before we wrap up our deep dive into Matchday 25, let's highlight some individual performances.
Okay, yeah, who impressed you?
Yeah, so we've already talked about, Ndoye and Ekkelenkamp, but, Canseco, I think he deserves a shout-out as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Scoring that winning goal.
Yeah.
In that match, that takes some serious guts.
Yeah, big-time players make big-time plays.
They do.
But I think we also have to acknowledge, Di Gregorio, the goalkeeper for Juventus.
He was a wall.
He was incredible, all those crucial saves.
Especially those 2 off the woodwork.
I know.
Could have been a completely different game.
Talk about moments of brilliance.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It's those moments of brilliance that can really swing, the momentum of a match.
Yeah, and sometimes even a whole season.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder how these guys will continue to influence their teams as the season goes on.
Yeah, are they going to build on this, or was this just a flash in the pan?
Only time will tell.
Right.
But speaking of, the rest of the season, how do you see Matchday 25 impacting, the rest of the season?
Well, the race for the top 4 is really heating up.
It is.
AC Milan, they keep finding ways to win.
Yeah.
Roma, too, even though they're not playing their best football.
Yeah.
They're getting results.
Exactly. I think that's a good sign for them.
It is. They're grinding out results.
Yeah. And let's not forget about Juventus.
Oh, yeah.
Beating Inter. That could be a real turning point for them.
It could be a sign of things to come.
Yeah. They're not going to go away quietly.
No, they're still the champions.
So it'll be interesting to see how they respond in the coming weeks.
Yeah. Can they keep this momentum going?
On the other end of the table, Fiorentina losing to Como like that.
That was a tough one for them.
It really throws a wrench in their plans.
It does. They need to find some consistency.
If they want to stay in the race for European football next season.
Absolutely. And you can't help but feel for Como.
Yeah.
They played so well.
They did.
But it's still a long road ahead.
Yeah, they're not out of the woods yet.
Not by a long shot.
So before we go, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Which result do you think from this match day will have the biggest long-term impact on the Serie A season?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is. There were so many.
So many great matches. So much drama.
I know, but if you had to choose.
If I had to choose,
yeah,
I'd say Juventus beating Inter. It just feels like a potential turning point.
Yeah, it does. It kind of feels like a changing of the guard, almost.
Yeah, it's a statement win for sure.
Yeah, and it says a lot about, where those two teams are at right now.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything from this absolutely wild match day.
Yeah.
From the upsets to the nail biters. It was a reminder of why we love this league.
Serie A is the best.
It really is.
Passion, drama, and unpredictability.
And I've said it better myself.
And we're just getting started.
So much more to come this season.
It's going to be an exciting finish.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Matchday 25.
Absolutely.
We'll be back next week to break down even more Serie A action, sure.
Can't wait. 7279.